Hello, hello everyone. How are you today? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Hello, I'm so happy to have you join me today. I'm a bit nervous, I must tell you. This is my very first webinar, and I'm excited and nervous at the same time. Thank you so much for joining in. It's 11 o'clock on a Friday. There are a million and one things you could be doing. Yes, you're here with me at this webinar. So I will not take your time. I'll try to be brief. This will go on for like 20 to 30 minutes. And after which you can ask your questions. So yeah, here we go. So first of all, I'd like to tell you, before I go on, I'll have to give a shout out to my team for putting this together. Shout out to my team, because I hate cameras. I'm a behind the scenes person. I like being behind the scenes. I don't want you to see my face. I just want you to see the work we've done. But they insisted that we do this, and they ensured everything was well put together. So I'd like to appreciate them. Thank you so much. And then I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Funmi Okigbo. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer of Events Architects Limited. We used to be No Surprises Events. We just changed our name to Events Architects. And I have worked with corporate organizations and individuals for 15 years. We have helped them communicate to their clients and their audiences through events. And today I'm going to share with you a few secrets, a few ideas to help inspire you for your next event. If you're an event planner, this is the right place for you. If you are wondering how to wow your clients at your next event, if you are wondering how to make them happy, connect with them, I'll share a few of my experiences with you. I'll give you a few tips, and yeah, let's go. So let me just dive in. What you're going to learn here today, you're going to learn how to design events that meet your guests' needs. You're going to learn how to create events that please your clients and make them come back, because at the end of the day, we're in business, so we can make more money. We're going to learn how to make your events memorable. And finally, I'm going to be talking you through the things that you should focus on, because when you're planning events, like, there's a lot of things, a lot of balls you have to juggle. But it's good to focus on the important things. They might seem little, but they're high impact at the end of the day. So why is it important for you to satisfy your guests at your event? We cannot talk about a successful event without talking about our guests, because at the end of the day, it's about them. Nobody puts an event together just for the sake of it. There's an objective, there's a reason why. And most times it's because we want our guests to be satisfied. We want to connect with them, even if it's a personal event, even if it's a wedding or a birthday. At the end of the day, you would like your guests to have a good time. If it's a corporate client, you want to know that you connect with them, you have a message you want to share, there's a call to action at the end of the day. So it's important that your guests are happy. So we're going to go into the minds of the guests today and find out the things that are important to them. Because at the end of the day, when your guests are happy, you get great reviews. When you get great reviews, the buzz is all over the place and the clients are happy. Even when the clients are not happy, when the reviews come back to them and the guests are telling them what an amazing event it was, they will be forced to tell you you did a good job. So we're going to try and talk about how to make your guests feel amazing, because at the end of the day, it's about how they feel. All right. A lot of people come to events for different reasons. Some people come for the cake. Some people come for the ambience. Some people come for, so many things. But there are some important things that they would like to focus on. So I'm going to take you through 5 things quickly, and, to tell you the things that, okay, I'm going to learn to breathe. Like I said, I'm super nervous. But yeah, so the first thing that I'd like you to think about is the purpose of the event. What is the purpose of your event? If your client has not articulated this, it's important that you sit with them and you talk them through it. Because without a purpose, without a direction, then you're just grabbing at straws. So after you've articulated the reason for the event, the objective, what they're trying to achieve, the next thing is to communicate this to your guests, because they need to know why they are coming for this event. Nobody leaves their home to spend 3, 4, 5 hours, sometimes maybe even in traffic, to come to your event and, without knowing why. So you have to communicate this to your guests. One of the ways to do this in an exciting way is your invitation card. The invitation card is the first thing they'll get to see. And it's important, very, very important, that you communicate this through your invitation card in the most creative way. This is Lagos, and a lot of people are battling for your attention. Many events are happening at the same time. How do you make your event stand out? One of the ways is by the invitation card. We've all been in that situation where you have 3 events to attend, or sometimes 4, and you're wondering, which one do I go to, right? Usually the invitation card helps you make this decision. So make sure your invitation cards are creative. Make sure you state your purpose in a fun way. You might also want to, add a little bit of creativity. So for example, your dress code, instead of saying formal or informal, you could say fun and chic or something. Your colors play an important role. You could even say things like first 20 guests get a free photo shoot at the event or something like that. But it's very important that you begin to create anticipation through your invitation. Another way you can do this is by the communication. Do a little countdown, 5 weeks to go, 4 weeks to go. Tell them a little something, tell them you're excited to see them. You can send them a mood board of what to wear, for example, so they start, or even you can give them ideas of where to shop, you could, if you have a guest speaker, for example, if it's a conference or a seminar, you can say a little something about the guest speaker. Tell them, some fun things about them, so they connect with him. So when you get to the venue, they feel like they already know him and it's like their best friend or something. So communication, your campaigns, the buzz on social media, you need to tie everything together. So it's fun, but you're still stating the purpose for the event so they know and it's clear. The second thing is you have to know your audience. So you can cater to them. Nobody plans an event without knowing their audience. They're different demographics, and you have to know exactly who's coming from your event. Create a persona for your event attendee and speak to them. Are they young? Are they old? Are they married? Where do they live? Those things play a role in your design for the event. For example, if you're doing an event for 90-year-olds, you know that you can't have that event too late during the day. They won't come. They'll probably be asleep at that time. If you're doing an event for teenagers or for young people, you can't have it in the morning because they will not be awake. If you're doing a seminar or a conference, you want to do it maybe around 10 or 11 or something, when it's easy for them to come and attend. So you have to really know exactly what it is. It also helps with the kind of DJ, for example, the entertainment, the food, the drinks, the other people to invite. People want to see people like them at these events. So it's very important that you find out who they are so you can cater to them. The ambience, like I said, the food, the interaction, the experiences you create are usually tailor-made based on the people attending your event. The number 3 thing I'm going to talk about is location. Your location is very, very important. You have to know where your guests live. You don't want them to have to drive too far away from where they live. That is also very important. It's also important that you look at the amenities at your location. So for example, if most of your clients or most of your guests are going to self-drive, you have to make sure there's parking. If you feel like a lot of them are going to come with drivers, well, maybe it's not so important. But if they're going to drive, it's important that there's parking, there are people out there to help them. You may even throw in a valet service to help them park their cars if you want. That's it. So your location is important. Your location also tells, it's the beginning of telling a story about what kind of event you're having. So for example, it's by the beach, it begins to tell them about maybe even what to wear. Like, okay, it's a beach party. if it's in a hotel, if you have a conservative audience, for example, the venue also speaks to them. If it's a young, hip crowd, you want to choose a young, hip place for them. So they're already excited about it. So that's all about location. Number 4 is the time of the day, depending on what kind of event you're having. If it's a conference, you want to do it during the day so they can be done during the day and go home. If it's a party, you want to do it late at night so they can close from work and come and attend your party. The date is also important. You don't do for a business, serious business event on a Saturday, for example, because people are already at home. They are with their family. They're going for weddings. You are competing with weddings and other things like that. So you also want to make sure that it's the right time. For example, summer events, depending on the kinds of people you're inviting. Summertime may not necessarily be a good time because some of these people have traveled abroad. Christmas time is a nice time, but then there are lots of events happening at that time. So you may want to consider this. And these are all tips. These are the things that because sometimes your clients may not understand why you are insisting on certain things. As an event manager, it's your duty and responsibility to educate them and explain to them in the nicest way why you are making those choices or why you are telling them to make those choices. The 5th and the final thing I'm going to say is your content. When you bring your clients, when you bring your guests together, they are coming and they're expectant. They are looking to be wowed. They are looking to have an experience. So I've always said this, that it's quite disrespectful to make people come and attend your event and you waste their time. You don't bring them just for the food. A lot of people don't really come for the food and drinks. Everybody can really afford food and drinks in their homes, but they come for experiences. They come for maybe people they want to meet. I'll tell a little story. In my industry, sometimes I get invited to come for clients appreciation events, and as you can imagine, my schedule is quite busy. So I find myself not attending as many as I should, because I'm thinking, I'll get an invitation card to say, oh, would like to appreciate you, would like to have food and drinks at this venue. But then that's not enough incentive for me. I'm a businesswoman, and that, as I love my suppliers, but sometimes it's just really, really busy. So when we did our 10th anniversary, we wanted to have our suppliers and our friends and our colleagues attend. And I wanted the CEOs to attend. I didn't want them to send their staff. It was very important for me that they came. So what I did was I created I brought in a speaker who catered to their businesses, who talked to them about business goals and how to articulate your business goals, how to grow your business. And it ended up being an interactive session. So in my invitation card, I invited them to the breakfast, but I also talked to them about the speaker and the things they stood to gain by attending the event. And it was well attended. In fact, we were there 2 hours after the event. People lingered. They did not want to leave. And that's because they saw value in the event. So it's very important that when your guests come to your event, yes, the invitation card is right. You've done your invitation card. It's amazing. The hype is there. The buzz is there. The location is great. When they come, you don't want an anticlimax. You don't want them to come and be like, okay, why am I here? I'll tell you another story. Even if you're trying to sell to them, like most corporate clients are trying to sell in one way or the other, you can communicate your message without being too salesy. There was an event we did some years ago. It was a makeup launch for a brand. And what we did was, at the beginning, we had guess their skin color, their tone color. We had the different colors, we had the names on a piece of paper, and we got them to guess the name, the skin tone for that particular makeup. And then when they got into the event, there was a makeup stand where you actually had your face made up, and there you got to discover your real color. So, there was a lot of fun and excitement as people discovered that the color they selected matched the color their real color, and there were squeals of laughter and excitement, and that kind of set the tone and created the tone. Now that's a very interesting way to introduce, to sell, to talk about what you are launching. We could have done like a PowerPoint presentation, that would have been boring. I remember I went for an event again years ago. I attended an event, and it was, I think it was a milestone event. I think it was a launch or a milestone event. It was in the evening. It was around 7 o'clock. So we were there all dressed, black tie and all, music was going on. And right in the middle of that, they flipped open their presentation and they started doing a at 9 p.m. So as much it was a great idea to do a presentation, I didn't think that event was the right place to do that. Another thing you may want to do, sorry, I'm going on and on about this. I'm very big on content. I'm very big on experiences. And this is what excites me the most about every event. Also think of adding an element of surprise. So you might be doing a conference, for example, and people are coming with their suits and you've done your sessions. They go for a lunch break, for example. You can throw in a rock band there, and the rock band is there performing, and people are like, whoa, what's going on? Throw in some music, throw in something. There are no hard or fast rules to these things, you know. So that's it really. While you do this, just try and be yourself, be creative, try to understand the brand. It's very important you understand the brand that you're dealing with. When you're at the beginning of when you're planning, ask the right questions. You want to know if the brand you're working with, for example, it's a corporate client or even an individual, you need to understand who they are. So this can translate to what it is you're trying to do. If they're a conservative brand, you have to understand that it's not about you. Also, I cannot even overemphasize the reasons why you have to always consider your clients. I mean, your guests. I'm sorry, your guests. I remember having a conversation once with a client, and she was like, "Oh, don't add fish to the menu because I don't like fish." And I reminded her, I'm like, you're inviting 1,000 guests. Surely one of your guests will like fish. And she was like, oh, you're right. So it's about the guests. They have to feel important. They have to feel great. Another thing I want to throw into this is try to design your event for that one person who will come without a friend. Many times people come to events with their friends. Okay, and it's really cool, they hang out, but there are people who just show up alone. And so if you design your event with that person in mind, then you have done a great thing. Think of how you can engage them from the get-go, from when they get to the venue, from when they meet the ushers, you know, the drinks. Do you want to put little notes to go with the drinks? Do you want to say things about the brand, you know, on the walls? Let them begin to engage, you know, so that they don't feel alone. The other thing that you may want to do is the other thing I wanted to mention is I wanted to mention that about timing, but I forgot. It's very important that you are prepared for your event at the time that you said you put on your invitation card. I know this is Nigeria, this is Africa, we do a lot of African time, but I've noticed that there's that one person or two people who show up on time. At our events, we try to make sure most times that we are ready 1 to 2 hours before the event starts, because there are people who have taken your invitation card, they've taken it seriously. You say you're going to start at 6 p.m. They are there at 6 p.m. What happens when they come in? What do they see? I remember having a little argument about with one band. They were there, they were set up, and I told them, whether there's a guest here or not, start playing music. They refused. They were like, no, there's nobody here. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. We say 6 o'clock, we start at 6. When that one person comes at 6, he needs to know that the party has started. So what you don't do is you have a handful of people who are at your venue, 5 or 6 people sitting around, and nothing has happened, and people are so busy moving things and decorating things. Those people need to understand that you are ready for them. All right, so the music has to be playing. Everything you have prepared for the event must be in place, because you need to reward them for coming early. What happens is we reward people for coming late, and that's the reason why they keep coming late to your events. When you know that an event is a 2-hour event and you show up at 2 o'clock, at 2 hours later, and the event is done, then you'll know to come early next time. But a lot of people just say, oh, let's wait. It's okay to wait, but let the music play, give them some finger foods, give them something to drink while they wait. All right, I hope I have been able to talk about the things that will appeal to you. Right now I'm taking questions. But before then, I want to do a quick recap of what it is we've discussed. Number one, be clear on your event purpose. It's very important that your client, you, and the guests know why you put the event together. The second thing is you have to know your audience so you can cater to them. Create a persona for them so that everything you're designing and putting together is for them. They need to feel that you thought about them through the process. Number three is location. Choose your location carefully. Be considerate to your guests. Consider them. Let them know that you have thought through everything and you have considered them, the proximity of the event, the amenities in the events. This is very at the location, very, very important. And finally, content is king. You need to make your guests have a good time. They need to have fun. When they have a good time, you don't have to beg them to post on social media. They will be the one talking about it, and that is all the referral, the hype you need and the PR you need. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this, I'd like you to follow Events Architects Academy. Events Architects Academy is a school for people who want to cater to a particular type of clients. You want the discerning individuals. You want to help corporate clients plan events in a different way. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I feel like it's finally time for me to share my knowledge. I've been so busy. A lot of people have written to me over the years to do this. I've finally decided to do this so I can share my experience and some of the things I know. We have worked with a lot of amazing multinationals. We've worked with a lot of clients and corporate corporate clients, and we can show you and tell you a thing or two about how to get those same clients. We know what they love. So this is just like a quick 25 minutes, 30 minutes talk about events. But trust me, when you come for the course, you will get to know more. So on the 10th of July and on the 17th of July, we're starting our very first course called the Event Management Blueprint. We're going to be talking about the framework of events, how to do events if you want your events to stand out. Yeah, there are loads and loads of events out there, but if you want your event to stand out, if you want to be that event planner, that person that people call for those events that are not ordinary, we will teach you how. So come on the 10th of July. You can go to the website to find out a little bit about us. You can follow us on Instagram, again, at Events Architects, events, EVENTS, Architects with an S, Academy. We're on Instagram. You can also check us on our website, Events Architects, eventarchitectsacademy.co, not .com, eventarchitectsacademy.co. And then you have all the information about us. All right. So now I'm going to be taking questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to respond to them. Once again, my name is Funmi Victor Okigbo, and I am the CVO, the Chief Visionary Officer of Events Architects Limited. So yeah, I'm waiting for your questions. Thank you. Hey, Kumi, Obi, oh my God. All my peeps are here. Kumi, Obi, Odafe, whoa! This is amazing. Okay, so there's a question here. How do you deal with starting your event on time, especially dealing with the vendors and African timing? Kumi, you already have the answer to that, but yeah, I know you want me to answer that. Yeah, well, so the thing that you do as an events person is, you just have to tell them a different time. So if your event is starting at 6 o'clock, you have to tell your suppliers, you have to tell your vendors that it's starting, like, if it's 6 o'clock, you tell them it's starting at 4 o'clock, and just hope they don't see the invitation card. So you have to prepare. So what I do is mentally, if an event is 4 o'clock, we mentally prepare that the event is at 4. I mean, if it's 6 o'clock, for example, we prepare for the event for 4 o'clock. So we have like an internal time where we are working towards. So we work our way back from there. We tell our vendors, this event, you have to be set up by 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Now, I'm sure some of my vendors are like, oh, FBO, is that what you do? Let me catch you. So yes, that's what we do. So you just have to give them a different time. Another thing we do for our suppliers is we have KPIs. It's very, very important that when you're engaging them, you give them like a list of deliverables and you agree on those things. Like, for example, timing, and if you're a decorator, you agree on the look and feel, you take pictures. And then at the end of the event, there's like an appraisal. And you actually write to them so they know how they did. I find out that the kinds of suppliers that you really want to be working with, they look forward to those appraisals and they're really open and they don't get defensive. So they look forward to it. And it's another way of making sure and keeping standards. So yes, I hope I answered your question, Combs. Is there another question? Odafe says, as an event planner, you should remember to return the after event deliverables to the client after the event. You can't afford to forget leftover souvenirs or the cake. Oh my God. Oh my God, Odafe. So Odafe used to work with us. Shout out to you, Odafe. I'll tell you guys a story. So Odafe, I'm going to put you on blast here. So we did an event some years ago, and after the shutdown, I left thinking my team was going to clean up after me. And then the next day, I got a call from another event, a technical director who was having an event at the same venue, and he said, "Funmi, did you not do this event the day before?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Well, your cake is still here." And Odafe was in charge. So I guess that's why she's saying this now. Yes. Okay, I got another question. How do you get inspired to create unique and unforgettable experiences for your clients? Well, one of the ways that I keep myself inspired is I read a lot of books, I do a lot of research, I watch movies. I think the problem is sometimes when you wait for the events before you start researching, right? Then there's a lot of pressure on you. I would say make it a lifestyle. Be constantly looking for ideas. You can find ideas anywhere, everywhere. I have folders. I have documents on my laptop, things that I see that are just random, and I just save it because you never know. You are watching a movie, you are taking notes, you are taking pictures with your phone, you are trying to get inspiration from them, and then one day you just connect the dots. I have events in my head and on my laptop that I've just written down. Events that are yet to be planned, but I'm hoping one day clients will say something like, "Oh, plan this kind of event for me," and then I will just whip it out and come out. So it has to be a lifestyle for you as an events person. Okay, I have another question. How do you convince your clients that guests are priority, most especially for weddings? You mentioned one, but wedding clients want to force their way on you. How do you manage that? That's a great question. Well, here's the thing. You have to educate your clients. I find that a lot of them, you have to understand that they don't have the kind of experience that you have. All right, you have been doing this for I don't know how many years. They're just doing one event. So one of the things that you have to establish from the very beginning is you have to win their confidence and trust. So when you have the first meeting, usually the client is checking you out. They're like, who is this person? They're probably seeing 2 or 3 other people. You are probably having to pitch for the event. You don't know. But when you start to talk to them, the quality of the questions you ask, the way you answer their questions, you begin to win their trust. They begin to look at you like, this person knows what they're saying. So when you have established that, it becomes easier for them to receive from you. So when you tell them stuff, they listen. So, but back to your question, you have to let them know that it's about them, but it's really about their guests. You have invited your guests over to come and it's important that they have a good time. You want them to remember your event. You want them to talk, to say nice things about your event. You want them to remain at your event till the end. You don't want to 2 hours after you look around and everybody has disappeared because your event was just boring, right? So you tell them that you paint a picture. You explain to them that you have brought these people to this event. Yes, it's your wedding, but it's important. It's a show of love. It's a show of love for you to actually consider them, and it's also being respectful. Yeah. So so before I leave, our time is up. I'm going to remind you to follow us at Events Architects Academy on IG, and also to visit the website eventsarchitectsacademy.co. And please, if you want to know more about events management, if you want to have access to and plan events for the kinds of clients that I've worked with over time, I'm ready to share the secrets with you. The more, the merrier. I want to meet you. I want to see you when you're going for those pitches. I want to be able to follow you on Instagram. I want to see your pictures. I want to comment and say, good job. But before that, let us meet on the 10th of July. I cannot wait to see you. I'm super excited about this. And yeah, see you there. So thank you so much. Thank you for the time. Thank you for taking time out for this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I brought some value to you today. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.